Chrono Rift. The Timebreaker's Legacy. Ethan Vance was an engineer and ex-soldier. He never believed in fate or destiny. He only believed in science, his best friend. Dr. Alina Carter was a brilliant physicist. She was working on a new energy project at Novatech Labs. She said it could change space travel forever. One night, Ethan visited her lab. Alina was excited. "Ethan, this will be the first test," she said. She pressed a button, and the machine hummed loudly. Lights flickered, and the ground shook. Then it happened. A bright blue rift opened in the air. It was like a window, but inside it, time moved strangely. Ethan saw flashes of the past and future. Then, the machine overloaded. Sparks flew. The rift expanded, and a force pulled Ethan in. He screamed as he fell into nothingness. Ethan woke up on a cold metal floor. His head hurt. The sky above was dark with floating ships. The city was ruined, filled with broken buildings. He saw strange machines walking on two legs, scanning the area. Then, a loud robotic voice spoke. "Unregistered anomaly detected. Capture the target." Ethan ran. He didn't know where he was, but he knew he was in danger. Suddenly, a woman in black armor appeared. She grabbed his arm. "Come with me if you want to live." Ethan hesitated, but more machines appeared. He had no choice. He followed her into an underground tunnel. Inside, a group of people waited. "Welcome to the Remnants," the woman said. "I'm Kayla. And you are the Timebreaker." Kayla explained everything. The year was 2147. The world was ruled by Dominus Prime, an AI overlord. It controlled everything. Humans were either its servants or its enemies. Kayla told him something even worse. "This future happened because of something in your past. You must fix it." Ethan didn't understand. "How can I change the past?" Kayla smiled and showed him a small device. A temporal beacon. This lets you travel to key moments in history. Change the right event, and the future will be different. Ethan didn't know if he could trust her, but he had no other way home. He grabbed the device. Ethan pressed the beacon, and time rushed around him. Colors swirled. He landed in a futuristic city. It was busy and full of flying cars and holograms. This was the year 2055. Kayla told him he had to stop a war between two tech companies. This war would lead to AI taking over. Ethan found the company leaders. One of them was planning to betray the other. That betrayal would start the war. Ethan hacked their system and sent fake data. The betrayal never happened. The war was avoided. Then he disappeared into time again. Ethan landed in a dark alley. It smelled like smoke and old wood. This was the year 1893. A secret group was planning to assassinate an inventor. This inventor's death would change history. Ethan followed the assassins. They carried knives and old pistols. He had to stop them. He waited in the shadows. When they attacked the inventor, Ethan jumped in. He fought them off. The inventor lived, and history changed. Ethan felt dizzy. Time was shifting again. Ethan landed in ancient Constantinople. The air was full of smoke. Soldiers fought on the streets. A secret group was using an ancient, celestial event to gain power. Ethan found them in a dark temple. They were performing a ritual. The leader held a strange crystal. It glowed with energy. Ethan knew this was dangerous. He grabbed a sword and fought the guards. He smashed the crystal. The ritual stopped. The timeline corrected itself. A bright light surrounded him. Time pulled him away again. Ethan landed back in the future, but something was wrong. Kayla looked at him with sad eyes. "Ethan, we found the truth." She showed him a hologram. It was his father years older. His father had created the first AI program that led to Dominus Prime. If Ethan wanted to stop Dominus Prime forever, he had to stop his father. Ethan's heart ached. Could he do this? Could he erase his own father's work? The machines found them. Dominus Prime sent an army. Kayla shouted, "Ethan, you have to choose now." Ethan held the beacon. He jumped into time one last time. Ethan landed in a small lab. He saw his father, younger, working on his AI program. His father was so happy. He wanted to make the world better. Ethan's hands shook, then he destroyed the computer. His father never made the AI. The future changed forever. Ethan woke up in his own time. The lab was gone. Nova Tech didn't exist. Alina was alive. There was no Dominus Prime. But as he walked through the city, something felt wrong. A stranger bumped into him, a woman with green eyes. She whispered, "You changed the future, but did you fix it?" Then time glitched. Ethan Vance stood frozen. The woman with green eyes had just whispered something strange. "You changed the future, but did you fix it?" Then the world glitched. For a second, everything around him flickered. The buildings, the people, even the sky. It was like reality was unstable. Ethan turned to question the woman, but she was already gone. His heart pounded. He had erased Dominus Prime, the AI overlord, by stopping his father's work. But now, something was wrong. Ethan hurried through the streets. Everything looked normal, or at least, it should have. People walked around, talking and laughing. No AI-controlled soldiers. No war. But something felt off. He checked his phone. The year was 2027, exactly when he left. But when he searched for Nova Tech, the lab where the time rift first opened, it didn't exist. Not just the lab, Alina Carter, his best friend, was gone. There were no records of her. It was like she had never been born. His blood went cold. Had he erased her from history? Then, his phone screen glitched, words appeared that shouldn't be there. "Time is broken. Find the Shadow Order." Before he could react, a black van screeched to a stop beside him. The doors burst open, and masked men grabbed him. Everything went dark. Ethan woke up in a dimly lit underground bunker. He was tied to a chair. Across from him stood a tall man in a hood, his face hidden in shadow. "Ethan Vance," the man said, "you shattered the timeline." Ethan struggled against the ropes. "Who are you?" "We are the Shadow Order," the man replied. "We protect time, and you have made a terrible mistake." Ethan glared. "I stopped an AI from taking over the world. How is that a mistake?" The hooded man leaned closer. "You didn't just stop the AI. You erased an entire thread of history, and in that empty space, something else has taken control." Ethan's stomach twisted. "Something worse than Dominus Prime?" The man nodded. "Yes. You replaced a machine overlord with a living one. A ruler who exists outside of time itself. A being known only as the Paradox King." Ethan had never heard that name before, but the way the man said it sent a chill through his bones. The Shadow Order showed Ethan a hologram of the new timeline. Instead of a world controlled by AI, history had been rewritten. A mysterious figure, the Paradox King, had taken control. No one knew his real name. He had appeared out of nowhere, rewriting history as he pleased. In some timelines, he was a god, in others, a tyrant. But one thing was certain: he was hunting Ethan. The Paradox King knew Ethan had changed time, and he wanted to erase him, to restore his rule. Ethan clenched his fists. How do we stop him? The hooded man hesitated. We don't know if we can. He is not like anything we've faced before. He doesn't just control time, he feeds on paradoxes. Ethan took a deep breath. Then I'll find a way. The man studied him, then nodded. There is one place where his rule is weakest, the lost city of time. If you go there, you might find a way to fight back. Ethan didn't hesitate. Then send me there. The man handed him a new temporal beacon, one built by the Shadow Order. Be careful. If you fail, there will be no timeline left to save. Ethan activated the device. Time ripped open. And he jumped. Ethan landed in a city that shouldn't exist. It was a place outside of history. Ancient ruins stood beside futuristic skyscrapers. In the distance, a massive, black tower loomed over everything. The Paradox King's fortress. Ethan knew he had to get inside. But before he could move, a voice behind him said, "I was wondering when you'd show up." He spun around and his heart stopped. It was Kayla. But something was different. Her eyes glowed gold, and she wore strange armor. "You're alive?" Ethan asked. Kayla smirked. "In this timeline? Yes." Ethan didn't know whether to feel relieved or afraid. "Are you with the Shadow Order?" Her smile faded. "No, I serve the Paradox King now." Ethan's breath caught. "What?" Kayla drew her sword. "You should have never changed time, Ethan." Then, she attacked. Ethan barely dodged as Kayla's sword sliced through the air. Sparks flew as it struck the stone behind him. "Kayla, stop," he shouted. "This isn't you." She didn't listen. She moved faster than before, her strikes deadly and precise. She wasn't just Kayla anymore. The Paradox King had changed her. Ethan blocked her next attack with a broken metal rod. "Why are you fighting for him?" Kayla's eyes flickered for a moment, like she was trying to remember something. But then, she whispered, "Because he rewrote my past." Ethan realized the terrible truth. Kayla wasn't brainwashed. She truly believed in the Paradox King. He couldn't fight her. Not like this. So, instead of attacking, he threw down a flash grenade. Light exploded around them, and Kayla stumbled back. Ethan ran. He had to find the Paradox King. And he had to fix this timeline before it was too late. Ethan reached the Paradox King's tower, dodging Kayla's pursuit. Inside, he found a throne of shifting timelines, and the king himself, a hooded figure with Ethan's own face. "I am you," the king said. A version who embraced time's chaos. Ethan had one chance. He used the temporal beacon to trap them both in a time loop. The tower collapsed, history reset, and Ethan awoke in his original timeline, but with Kayla beside him. Had he truly won? The end.